I mean, you have those horses like you're talking about that are like just ADD. They can't stand still, they can't focus, maybe they're herd bound. Um, you know, there's a lot to help those horses in the way of how they're managed, their diet, how they're handled. From a bodywork perspective, I find that those horses usually have a lot of pull and jaw tension, and their craniosacral system is kind of dysregulated. So it really is hard for them to be present in their own bodies. So there's like this mindfulness that I think you're encouraging in the horse when you work with the horse. Um, and then what I'm trying to do is try to get things moving in a way that's going to support a more regulated craniosacral system so that they can be in their bodies. It's just like us to a degree. You don't want to be in your body when you're not comfortable, or if something hurts and you're trying to protect it. Of course, horses, can't tell us what they're thinking or feeling, but a really gifted trainer, such as yourself, is going to be able to help that horse be in their body and be comfortable in their body, and that's huge, because they don't want to be. They're prey animals. They don't want to be.
Yeah.
They're vulnerable
Yeah.
if they do.
I think there's a lot of horses. I've seen so many times really horses that have a hard time being in their body, which the ones that first pop in my mind are more hot-blooded type creatures. So when they're not in their body, it looks like a very animated, fresh, anxious horse. Um, when you get them in their body, they finally tell you how much they hurt.
Mm,
Owners would say like they feel like they're backpedaling. I'm like, they just were hiding it, not consciously, of course, but they were so not in their body, they couldn't even show you how uncomfortable they were.
right.
Probably some of the hardest situations, all the ones I call you for,
Well,
because
you've had so much
you know,
experience with these off the track thoroughbreds that nearly every off the track thoroughbred that I work on, there's some indication somewhere in their body that there's been some kind of trauma that probably was sustained early on in the starting gate or whatever. And, my goodness, it takes so much patience and effort and consistency, but you've had really good success with getting those horses to kind of be in their bodies. Unfortunately, what happens is then you start to see the real issues present, like you're
yeah.
saying.
I think it's interesting to think like, did they leave their body because it hurt? Like, which came first? Did they leave their body because it's uncomfortable? Or were they not in their body and that's why they got hurt? Because we all know
Ah,
when they're not in there, you're not coordinated. You're not,
that's a
um,
really good
I feel like
point.
stuff like that, it makes you so much, maybe I don't necessarily think of it in horse racing terms. If you think of trail horse terms, gosh, like, horses that do a lot of trail stuff, when they're anxious and like all going a million different places in their head. That's when they stumble. That's when they get hurt. You know,
Right.
interesting to think about. Which came first, the spazzy brain, the hurting body? Did it all come at once? I don't know.
Right.
You know,
No, I've never
either.
thought of that before. That's so smart.
Oh, I don't even have glasses.
Well, you need some. Well, you don't need any. I need the
Actually,
glasses.
I probably do. I haven't asked.